Imagine a world where every word you spoke had to rhyme. Sounds fun, right? But let's dive into how this would completely change our conversations and expressions. First off, when words become poetry, our language would be transformed into a vibrant playground of creativity, but it wouldn't come without its challenges. It's not just about making everything sound catchy, it's about how we convey complex ideas without losing the essence of what we mean. Think about it, when we communicate with rhyme, we'd need to choose our words carefully. Instead of saying, "I'm going to the store," you'd say something like, "To the store, I must explore." Short and sweet, expanding your vocabulary skills while playing a delightful game of tongue twister. This could lead to some pretty creative solutions for expressing ourselves. For example, when announcing a big idea, like plans to launch a rocket, you'd want to be concise yet exciting. Imagine hearing, "To the stars, we shall glide, where dreams with science collide." That definitely puts a spin on traditional announcements, don't you think? Now, let's talk about visuals. In a rhyming world, emojis and GIFs may rule supreme. Finding the perfect rhyme for drama might be tough when you want to convey something serious. So you'd probably lean on those little images to help tell your story. A cheeky emoji here or a funny GIF there could add layers of meaning and humor. Like a crying cat emoji when you're feeling down, to show, "I'm sad, but I'm cute too." Creativity would be off the charts! But hold on, this poetic requirement might not be as easy as you think. Different cultures have their own unique twists on rhythm and rhyme. For example, a language like English can be pretty free flowing, but Spanish has its own lyrical beauties that might get lost in translation. Imagine trying to rhyme in a language where every line has its own cadence. Talk about a linguistic conundrum! This could create hilarious misunderstandings, like when someone says, "My car is fast, zooming past," and their Spanish friend replies with, "What is zoom?" in my verse. Suddenly, the whole poetic thing becomes a comedy of errors. And here's a wild thought: our vocabulary might shrink! Yep, if we can only speak in rhymes, certain words could disappear, like those longer, non-rhyming ones. Instead of saying, "difficult," we might start making up new words to get around the restrictions. New creations could pop up, like tough, roughy, making our language feel fresh and playful, even a bit silly. So, in this whimsical, rhyming universe, our ability to communicate would depend on our imagination and creativity. We'd be crafting sentences like, "Under the sky so blue, I'll share my heart with you." But it wouldn't just be about using pretty words. It would challenge us to connect deeply, and maybe even turn everyday chatter into a form of artistry. As you drift away in this fanciful thought, consider this: if everyone spoke in rhyme, would we see the world differently? Communication could transform into a dance, where every conversation becomes a performance. Picture people breaking out into impromptu poetry slams at bus stops, or playful banter turning into full-blown rap battles during lunch breaks. So, what do you think? Would a world where rhyme is mandatory spark more creativity, or just leave us tangled in a web of confusion? The idea is wild, possibly messy, but oh so intriguing! That wraps up our whimsical exploration today. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget, keep your curiosity alive for the next adventure with Dr. Curiosity.